Hey, this is Coach Cassandra, and today we're going to talk about my favorite core exercise, sit-ups. I love this exercise because it's simply a classic. You can do it anywhere. It doesn't require any equipment unless you need additional assistance or additional weight added to your body. Sit-ups are fantastic for building that muscular endurance in your core, whereas crunches or leg lifts or anything is building strength. And strength is great, but you also want to have endurance so that you can have good posture, as well as reducing your risk for injury and pain. Another benefit is that it actually works more muscles than some other exercises. So yes, you're working your core of what you think of as your six-pack muscles, but you're also working your obliques, your chest, your back, and also your hip flexors. Hip flexors can be notoriously weak, so it's really good to work on those, especially if you have a job or a lifestyle where you're seated a lot. Okay, so that's good and great, but how do I build up to a sit-up? Sit-ups can be hard. I can't do full sit-ups. Well, what do? I have a couple variations for you to try to work and build on those exercises, and then I can show you a great way to build up even more onto your sit-up. All right, so my exercise number one is a banded crunch. So for this one, you're actually gonna tie a band to an object that's heavy and stable, that's not gonna move on you, okay? So make sure it's something, not a chair with nobody seated on it. Something like a pole works great, but also if you have a partner, they can hold on to the band for you while you do your crunches. Okay, so first up, you're going to tie your band to a pole, or your partner is gonna hold on to the band for you. Then you're gonna lay down on your back with your head facing towards what your anchor point is, either your partner or the pole. You're gonna scoot away from it a little bit. You're gonna have your knees up and you're gonna perform a basic crunch. The difference is you're gonna be holding on to that band and you're gonna try to also touch your knees. So you're not only just lifting up your shoulders off the floor, but you're also trying to touch your knees with your band. Now you're not probably gonna touch your knees, and that's okay. The goal is that's what your intention is, and that is what your goal is. You don't actually have to touch your knees. You want that resistance. You should feel that it's more difficult than a standard crunch. So the banded crunch actually works your top of your abs. So now we want to work the bottom of our abs. And that is going to be with what I call laybacks. You're going to have a seat on a chair or a bench that doesn't have a back. You want to make sure you don't have a back. You want to anchor your feet underneath either dumbbell weights or up against a wall or underneath a couch, something heavy that isn't, again, not going to move when you apply some force to it, some resistance to it. All right, so anchor those feet. You're gonna put your hands across your chest, and then you're just gonna lean back with a nice flat back and then coming back up. You're gonna treat this like you're going into a reclined position. You're not going all the way down. You're going about halfway or wherever you feel that you can get back up, okay? So depending on your abdominal strength, you're gonna go as low as your body will allow and then back up. Don't be going past halfway. We're only working on that top portion. If this bothers your back, you want to actually curve your spine a little bit so that instead of it being flat, you have a nice little C round shape, and that should take care of the pain if you have any in your lower back. Now, to build onto this, you can also be holding onto a weight, okay? So you can hold onto a weight plate, a med ball, a dumbbell, whatever you like. Just make sure you do not put the weight out in front and then back to your chest. You wanna keep it on your chest. So give it a good hug and then lean back, keeping it on your chest and then sitting back up. The idea is to add additional weight, additional resistance to the layback. And if you put it out in front of you, then you're counterbalancing yourself and you're kind of defeating the purpose of the exercise. All right, so that was step number one if you are new to sit-ups, practicing the banded crunch and also those laybacks. Once you feel like you've got some good mastering of that, you've done it for a couple of weeks, and you're ready to kick it up a notch, now it's time to start putting those together and doing a full sit-up. Well, wait, I can't do a full sit-up yet. That's okay. I have a modification for you to help you out. To start off with your sit-up, you're going to grab a weight. And this can be any weight. The heavier it is, the actually easier it's gonna be for you. So you want to start out with something heavier, nothing too heavy, something like a 10-pound weight or something like that. And then eventually you want to go lighter and lighter and lighter as you get better at this exercise. But go as heavy as you need. All right, so for this one, have a lay down on the floor, on a mat, whatever you need. You're gonna start in a basic sit-up position. You got your weight up over your head, okay, on the ground. You're gonna actually swing your weight up towards your knees as you perform a sit-up. The weight will actually help you get up, and that's great because then guess what? You've just done a sit-up. And then on the way down, you want to go down with control. And now you can do the counterbalancing move that I told you not to do for the laybacks. You can extend your arms out, that's fine, and just control and go down vertebrae by vertebrae until you're flat in the starting position. Keep practicing that. Get the hang of the sit-up with the weight. If 10 pounds is what you started out with and that's working perfectly for you, once you feel really good with that, then you can go down to 8 pounds. Once you feel good with that, you can go down to 5 pounds. Once you feel good to that, try doing it without any weight and still swinging your arms. Now that brings me to my final step for the sit-ups, and that is fully swinging your arms. That's okay, it's just a starting point. So pretend that you have that weight in your hands and swing your arms up for the sit-up. Let your arms help you. Again, on the way down, slowly control it down. If you just go right plopping down, you're missing a wonderful opportunity to build more strength. It's not just about working up, it's also about working back down to the floor. Now, once you get it really well with your swinging of your arms, if you can do 10 without too much trouble, now you can start to swing your arms less. You can try putting your hands across your chest, behind your head, and then you're doing a full sit-up with no assistance. Woo! Celebrate! I can do sit-ups. So there you have it, sit-ups. You can do them by following these different steps, by working on these different exercises and modifications, and then putting it all together and building up from nothing to full sit-ups. I believe in you. You can do this. It just takes time and it takes practice. No one has ever just picked it up and just had been from 0 to 10 overnight. It takes time. People take years working on their strength, and they get better and better the more they practice it. That's it for now. I hope you found this video informative and helpful, and I hope you practice those sit-ups. Reach out if you have any questions. Take care. Bye.